with both of them?
Oh, yeah. Put you right there. Oh, yeah.
The other side of Alan.
Right over here.
Hey, Alan, these kids over here.
Press down really hard.
But don't move your hand. And make sure your fingers are down like this.
Okay.
Ready?
Here. Alan, do you want them all to go to that one?
Push down hard. Push down hard.
My name is Leon Warden. I'm proud to be the chairman of the board here at the museum. And I want to thank, on behalf of the museum, Chairman Rudy Ortega Jr. of the Fernandino Tataviam Band of Mission Indians, Alan Salazar and the Elders Council, and all of our local indigenous family members who are here today for welcoming us and for working with us here on your ancestral Tataviam lands. Here at the museum, we tend to focus on the Mexican and American periods of California history, and particularly with the story of Ramona, which was written in 1884 by Helen Hunt Jackson. And it was really intended to call attention to the mistreatment and prejudice against the Native American Indians here in California. Ramona was the character Ramona was believed to be of Spanish-Mexican descent, and she fell in love with an Indian man, and for that she was ostracized. And spoiler alert, at the end of the story, her husband Alessandro is murdered by an American after being wrongly accused of stealing a horse. And that actually happened when Helen Hunt Jackson was in Temecula a couple of years earlier, before writing the novel and turning it into a novel. An Indian man was murdered for stealing a horse. And just as in the novel, as in real life, the murderer was never brought to justice. And, that's the way it was. Back then, Indians weren't even second-class citizens, weren't citizens of the United States. Most people didn't achieve citizenship until 1924. You think about that, that's not that long ago. I mean, a lot of us here have parents or grandparents who were alive then. And it's ironic, the first people here were the last to achieve U.S. citizenship. But citizenship and equal treatment under the law didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen by magic. It happened because of the hard work of a very small number of people over a number of decades, people like Helen Hunt Jackson, who wasn't just a novelist. She lobbied in Washington successfully on behalf of legislation that was thought to be at that time a pathway to citizenship. And I like to think that the kind of thing that we're doing here today brings forward that spirit into the 20th century, that spirit of being able to work together, of acknowledging one another as human beings, of respect for what are now the descendants of people who lost their land through no fault of their own. And the acknowledgement that history of Rancho Camulos didn't start in 1853 with the construction of the adobe hacienda here by Ignacio del Valle. It didn't start in 1839 when his father Antonio del Valle was given 48,000 acres of the Santa Clarita Valley from Camulos and Pyro on the west to Canyon Country on the east. It didn't start in 1824 when Antonio del Valle was riding through this riverbed right behind us, chasing after runaway Indians whose only crime was that they ran away from the Santa Barbara Mission. It didn't start in the winter of 1802, 1803, when a garrison of Spanish soldiers rode out from the San Fernando Mission and rounded everybody up and brought them from this village here that was at Camulos and brought them to the San Fernando Mission. It didn't start in 1797 when the San Fernando Mission was built. It didn't start in 1769 when the first Europeans laid eyes on this beautiful valley and encountered kind, gentle, giving people who welcomed them. It started long before that. And to talk about that a little bit, I'd like to bring up to the mic the chairman of the Fernandino Tataviam Band of Mission Indians, Rudy Ortega Jr.
So today, as we gather, as Leon said, there's a lot of stories and histories, and we talk about the history of our people, of our tribe, of our nation. And it's wonderful that we come together and to work with all those that has contributed to these lands. But more importantly, it's more wonderful for us as Tataviam, as Chumash, as Pipimaram, all these different tribal nations that have brought them forward as who we are as Native people. It's our ancestors that had maintained to struggle to make sure that we are here today, to make sure that we're able to come forward and be able to pass down our heritage and traditions and culture. And today is the time that we are very proud to acknowledge the fact that what's behind me, it's a contribution not only from our people who put their hands work into it with pride and dignity, that actually they love to come here and build it. They weren't forced to come down here to build it. Along with that, we welcome the public, people who are not from our tribal nation, not indigenous to these ancestral lands of ours here, but now call it home. We invite them as well to come and help build it up. It's a relationship that we have with the Historical Society that has been pursuant on us to ensure that we come and share our culture. And also we thank them, Leon, and all the Historical Society that make sure that we, and our story is told, and that we tell it from our end, and our angle, and our perspective. With that, I'd like to acknowledge a couple of folks who help make sure that our villages continue and built and properly interpretive, and all the items that were here collected. So with that, the interpretive space, we literally wouldn't have been possible without the support with our friends and relationship that we have now with 5 Point. So I'd like to acknowledge Donald Kimball from 5 Point Community President, and Matt Carpenter, Vice President. Also Sam Rojas for his coordination with all the materials that we have. If they'd like to come up. We figured Matt and Sam are getting elders now, so we got them walking sticks.
I will not wield this on the project.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm Don Kimball with 5 Point, and don't really have a lot of prepared remarks, but I just want to reach out to Tataviam and just recognize the relationship we've had over the years. Rudy, we talked about this earlier. It's a relationship of trust. It's a relationship of respect, and it's a relationship of a lot of history coming together and working together in a teamwork fashion on our property. And we really enjoy the relationship that we have today, and we continue to look forward to building that relationship even more going forward. So thank you for allowing us to be even a small part of today's very important ceremony. Thank you.
Hey, Matt, do you want to share about those spaces, vegetation areas?
Sure. So, I'm Matt Carpenter, and I'd just like to give you guys a little bit of an update. We've been working with the tribe as we've been working on our project to integrate more of the history of the indigenous people into our project, and we're really excited that as we bring our project to life, that there will be some areas of natural resource importance that will have some names that have been kind of brought together that will be appropriate for these areas that are really important, and they'll be there permanently. So stay tuned for that. I think that over the next year we'll start to see some of those things come to life, and hopefully we can share that with everybody when they do. So is that good? All right, but thank you again for inviting us to be part of this today, and for Rudy for allowing us to share in this important ceremony. Thanks.
So with the relationship with 5 Point, it's really something that has grown over the last 2-3 decades. And it's a point that I address that with this relationship, as Matt just mentioned, and Don Kimball as well, we're able to preserve sites, we're able to preserve cultural areas. And today we're in the talks of land acknowledgement. And this land acknowledgement has been in the works for the last 15, 20 years. So this is not something new. This is something that we have been working about. And so all these mountains up here, 5 Point is preserving a lot of areas that they're also working with the tribes, as Matt has said, naming places, not just to name it like in a normal name, but name it in our traditional tribal names and our traditional languages. And we know there's some spaces, but they're also able to provide that for us. So that's truly a land acknowledgement that carries on just the fact that this is Tataviam country, and they know it, and they know that they're able to work with us on that level as well. With that, I also like to thank our next sponsor who has generously supported us as well in funding a lot of work and even contribution dollars as well. So I'd like to invite up and acknowledge Leon Warden, the president of Santa Clarita Valley TV.
No, I've already said my piece.
All right. Leon said he'll take 5 minutes if he got up here on the mic. Also, then finally, one that we want to acknowledge, a little history of Rancho Camulos. The folks here in the Historical Society has been after the tribe, as I mentioned to you, for a couple, maybe 15, 20 years or so. They've had access to build this replica, help build this village. And the tribe wasn't ready, and everything is meant to be at the time. And so at this time, we have this partnership. We have the partnership, as I mentioned, 5 Point, the partnership with Leon, and then the partnership with the Historical Society as well at Rancho Camulos. So with them, we're able to now, as you see right behind me, be able to build the village. But more importantly, what made it truly happen was the folks that came out here and the leadership that will help build it up. And so those folks is the reason why we're able to move forward today and build this village. So I'd like to call up Susan Flank, museum director, and acknowledge her, and if she can share some words as well.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Hi, everybody. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. I've been looking forward to this day for a long time. We've been working on this project for about 2 years, maybe a little more than that. And as Rudy mentioned, it goes back well before that, just the talking about the project. And over this most recent 2 years, I was pretty amazed by all the work that went into this. I would come out on Saturdays and it would be cold. It would be like, January, February, cold to us in California. And I'd think, they're not going to be here. But they were here. They were working. And then even when it got really hot and kind of nasty out here, they were still here, and they really put forth a lot of effort. And as you can see, it's a real labor of love between the Tataviam volunteers and our museum volunteers, which will be recognized in a moment. So thank you to all of you who were participants in that. And this is the beginning of when, kind of alluding to what Leon was saying, we're able to connect the dots here to the rancho's earlier history and to the first people who were actually here well before the Del Valles and the Rubals. And as a historian, that means a lot to me that we can start connecting those dots and recognizing the people who were here first and gave of their service so much so in building the adobe house, which I think many of you have had the opportunity to go inside, as well as working on the ranch lands, taking care of the livestock and the agriculture, and the many domestic chores, just taking care of. There could have been as many as 200 people here a day. So the domestic labor they provided in taking care of the families, the children who lived here, so all of that. And so now we're in a position, as I said, to connect those dots and to start sharing that story with the many hundreds of school kids who come out here, as well as adult visitors, So all of that's good. And so this is a very good day for Rancho Camulos Museum, and I just want to say thank you for everybody's part in that. Thanks.
Before you go,
Oh,
Take a photo.
oh, sure.
That's your certificate of
Right.
appreciation, and this is for
The museum?
museum.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
we'll take a photo.
Okay. Where are we looking? Okay.
Right there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. So now I'd like to acknowledge and invite up a couple guests that we have here, representatives from Assemblywoman Christy Smith, if she'd like to come up, and Congresswoman Julie Brownlee.
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be out here today on behalf of the Congresswoman. Due to some scheduling conflicts, the Congresswoman was unable to make it. However, she does send her best regards. And I'd like to present this certificate on her behalf to the Fernandino Tataviam Band of Mission Indians in celebration of the grand opening of the Tataviam Interpretive Village at the Rancho Camulos Museum, which honors the ancestral lands and provides a cultural space for recognizing the heritage and traditions of Native American people throughout our region. Thank you so much.
And we also have a gift for you,
Oh, thank you
for the
so much.
Congresswoman.
Wonderful, thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michelle Campbell, and I'm here on behalf of the Assemblywoman Christy Smith. Thank you. And first, you couldn't have asked for a more beautiful day, Rudy. And this is a true testament, what we see here today, of your leadership. And I certainly know that your father is very proud of you, of the leadership and you bringing the warmth and making this feel like a one big family reunion. So I really have to give it up to you. So I want to give this certificate of recognition presented to the Fernandino Tataviam Band of Mission Indians. So on behalf of the California State Legislature, I congratulate you on the special opening of your new interpretive village at the Rancho Camulos Museum. Thank you for your commitment to sharing your history and culture for all those who visit this site. So thank you, guys.
And we also have a note. Thank you. So now we want to segue to the folks that actually put their hands into the work and built this village for us. And again, I want to acknowledge, and I mentioned him earlier, the valuable and countless hours that they put into the design, from concept to and helping instructing all the volunteers that helped build up this village. And we also want to acknowledge him with a special gift. I'd like to call up Alan Salazar. So we have, before Alan comes up and speak, we have a couple certificates for him from all the assembly members. Bob Hertzberg, Adrian Nazarian, Laura Friedman, and Jesse Gabriel, all the assembly members and state senator that has gave us certificate for Alan Salazar here. And on behalf of the tribe, this blanket that's covering this plaque and this blanket here is from the movie The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio. So we like to make that known because they gave us, the studio gave us all this blanket because they filmed in the village of Tapu, which is one of our tribal villages that we directly descend from. And so they use that village. So this blanket, they gave it to the tribe and to us so that we can gift to people like that. And then more importantly, Alan, I'm jealous because you get this first than me. And
The way it should be.
and I agree, but so you're first to have it. I wanted to do ribbon shirts for the tribal bird singers, and so Alan's the first to have. the new ribbon shirts that we're going to be using. And then on the back of it, our tribal seal. So with that, it's my honor, Alan. Can I take it? No? I'll hold it.
First, I want to thank all of the volunteers, and we're going to acknowledge you, I hope, next. I couldn't have done this without Richard and Les and Gary and Axel, and there was Angel, and there was families that would come out with little ones, and it was work, but it was work of love and joy. A couple things why I have everyone's attention. We're going to put some handprints and some cement I just poured, so it's going to be some of the young kids. So in 20 years from now, they'll be able to come back as adults and see their handprints that they were involved with the first Tataviam village built by Tataviam people. And we're going to be painting some rocks over here, everybody. I'll put out some paint. There's designs. You can copy the designs or paint your own design, paint your hand and put a handprint on the rock, and we're going to line the inside of the fire pit with those rocks. Those rocks are from the ocean. So our fire pit is lined with rocks from the river and rocks from the ocean. Because the Tataviam people from here would travel down this river to the village of Shishalope in Ventura, which was a major trade center. And they would trade with their Chumash neighbors and their Chumash families. So bringing both rocks from the river and the ocean is important. So please, help us paint some rocks. Two final things before I turn it back over to my cousin Rudy. One, I want to thank all the assembly members for these wonderful certificates. And will you please tell Assemblywoman Smith that the state of California has never apologized formally and officially to all California Indians for their official genocide policy from 1849 to 1873. And a state apology would be the first step in healing. And that the state of California needs to do that. So please pass that on to your boss. And finally, I didn't realize it'd been 2 years. Thank you. When you get old, it seems like I've been out here a couple months, but it's been 2 years. So I have about 8 pages of timesheets to turn into you. But it's under 200K, so don't worry. We're good. Thank you. Yeah.
I was looking at the size. It's a little small for me.
Well, the great thing about the vest is I can show off thunder and lightning. Oh.
So, Alan, before you don't walk too far. I got Beverly who wants to share a couple of words as well.
First of all, thank you all for being here today to celebrate the opening of our Tataviam village. I look around and I see a lot of pride in all our faces, especially from those of you who worked hard to make this day a reality. I want to thank Rudy for asking me to help give praise to the person we're recognizing here today. I'm filled with pride to honor the hard work and dedication of Alan Salazar. As you know, Alan is my nephew, the son of my elder brother, Abe, who is no longer with us, but who I know, along with the rest of our ancestors, are beaming with pride today. Alan gave much of his time, patience, and passion to this project. He taught the young tribal members as he worked alongside them. He's a great communicator and is always willing to take the time to teach or inform anyone about our history. Alan, as your aunt, you have made me proud and honored our family. Thank you for the legacy you are creating for the generations to come. He definitely left his handprint on this village site.
Thank you, Beverly, for the words. As Alan mentioned, he mentioned a few people that has been very devoted to this village building. And so with an honor of ours, we also like to acknowledge them because of the hard work and time and commitment they put into building this village for the last 2 years. And I think by Alan's words, I think they also have timesheets. I don't know where they're going to go. I have a special box in my office. That was where a lot of them go. So I'd like to call up Richard Ortega. No excuse, Richard. Now you can sing some songs with us.
Oh, boy. All right. Chase everybody away. Thank you.
Also, if you could step to the side, Richard, or if you want to say some words, we have some certificates for you as well from the assembly members and the state senator. The next person I'd like to call up is Angel de la Cruz. So the same, Angel, here you go, a nice gore. And also one member who's been from the community who's driven down from, I believe, Lake Elizabeth or so for a couple, throughout the entire time, actually. I'd like to call up Les Vion. There you go, Les. Thank you, man. Thank you. Any of you guys want to say anything? Camera shy?
I'm camera shy. I want to thank you all for coming out today. It has been an honor to build this with all of you. A lot of love, a lot of support, and it's just been a great honor throughout the whole process. And we do have a few more things to do on our phase 2. So we'll be asking for more volunteers, but thank you all for being here.
So besides the adults getting awards or certificates, we're going to call up the true workers of the village who are out here working. If I can acknowledge them, Tomier Ortega, Noli Ortega, Dylan Angel de la Cruz, Zachary Ray de la Cruz, Levi Bay de la Cruz. If you guys can come up here. With them, we present them with our tribal certificate. Hey guys, let's get in the front. Let's take a picture. Take a picture. Stand in front with your brother. Let's go in front. Let's go in front. Yeah, let's go in front, guys. Go ahead, go in front. In front of the podium. So this is the guy who actually did all the work right here. Okay. And so Rancho Camulos has donated another gift for us. Actually, Mary and Wynn has gave me a responsibility, and we, as traditional people, we follow these responsibilities when we're tasked this. So with that, we like to call up Dylan Angel de la Cruz back up. Dylan Dela Cruz. Back up. So we were given this bear claw here, and it is an honor for me to give you this claw that you can wear and cherish. And Mary is right here, and she's the one who gave us and gift that claw to you. And the Elders Council has selected you as the young man who had contributed so much in building this village, and it's an honor to have given you that claw on behalf of the Elders Council and on behalf of Marie as well. Thank you, Angel. And they're making me work up here. Are we finished? Okay, now we'd like to acknowledge all the docents. We have Marie Wynn, Gary Griezmann, and Dorothy Fillon. Tortilla. If you guys want to come up. Gary? Nice. Very nice. Thank you for your hard work, Gary. Thanks for inviting me, allowing me to hang out with you guys. Yeah, that's good. I got it. It's loose. So be careful. That's Marie.
It's Marie.
This is Marie. This is Dorothy. Dorothy.
How nice. Thank you. Yes.
This is Richard. Is that all? That's all I said. Okay. All right. We're gonna take a photo. Maybe we go there. So Marie doesn't have to come further. Okay.
Come to me.
Yeah. We're doing that. Right here.
Get a foot behind me here.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Susan, you wanted to say a few words? Yeah. So I'm gonna call back up Susan.
All right, and this is the last thing we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the ribbon cutting.
And then the ribbon cutting will be next. Okay. All right. Okay, so just one more announcement and presentation. From Rancho Camulos, we're very pleased to provide an interpretive plaque that starts to share the history of the village and of the Tataviam people. And this plaque was made possible by a very generous donation from one of our volunteer docents, as well as the Chevron company. So we are very appreciative of their gift. And the money went far enough to actually purchase the picnic tables that you're going to see in the back too. And these are out so that we can do Tataviam crafts with the school kids who come here. So lots of good things are going to be happening here. So perhaps we could have maybe Alan and Rudy up here to unveil the plaque, and maybe Dorothea would join us as well. And just one other announcement. I know you're about to cut the ribbon, but I don't want to forget to mention that we have refreshments over on the schoolhouse lawn. So after you've seen the village, make sure you head over there. We've got lots of good things to eat and drinks as well.
So Susan will be part of this cutting.
Oh, okay.
So Matt, Don. Huh? Okay. Matt, Don, Susan, Alan.
And how about
Leon.
Leon?
Actually, the reps from the Assembly and Congress, women, Richard.
There you go.
Yeah.
I can tell your hair now.
I want some. I'm gonna go make another one of them.
Huh? No, like
up there, Dylan.
But actually, this is my best side. We're bringing a bottle of champagne too? Oh yeah. See, we'll put you right there. Oh yeah.
The other side of Alan.
Here we go. Right over here. Press down real hard. Hand me that water.
Or just put it on your daddy.
Over there's a spigot over here.
Put your hand better. Open.
Just one quarter. Look in the box. Might be in the box. Yeah.
For a second. Hold there for a second. Let me get those 2 points over here.
You can. Press.
Press real hard.
Do a handstand on it.
We'll put some water on it.
Okay, put some water on it.
Put water on it. We'll do one more time. We'll do one more time. Okay.
Can you put both of them in there?
Oh yeah. Put you right there. Oh yeah.
The other side of Alan.
Right over here.
Alan, these kids over here.
Press down really hard. Hand me that water. Let's do these 2 little boys again.
Get your hands in there, push real hard.
Right here. I'm right here.
Oh, there's her hand over here by the spigot.
There's our hose over here, guys. Rinse your hands. Under there. Push real hard. Real hard. Real hard. Real hard. Press a little bit harder, guys. Get them in there. Where's Caden? Get yours again, too. Put it back in there again. Same fingers. Hold there for a second. Hold there for a second. Let me get those 2 points
As
over
hard
here.
as you can. Press.